for setting up your hotel room. That we could do that too. Dude, dude, dude.
Man, September is gonna be halfway over.
It is.
Well, speaking of September in news, they're gonna play September all day on the 21st, which
That's a
they
great
should do
idea.
every year.
Yeah, they should. That's a great idea. That's a cool idea. Oh, we are now live on YouTube. I just got a notification.
It's that time of year where like I could see the sunlight when we started. When we finish, it's gonna be like dark.
Yep,
And
same.
it's-
I mean, you can see it right here, right? I mean, because I have
Yeah.
my blinds wide open, but it just rained here for the first time in like forever.
Yeah, we haven't rained in forever. So are we gonna get rain tomorrow then?
It's because it's like it's the back end of that hurricane. Like it's swirled in from the
Yeah.
east. Like it was just
No rain on the next like 8 days for us. It has not rained at all.
yeah, it's super dry here too. But like it was right the moment I was getting ready to go to Taco Bell. Like it hasn't rained in ages, and I'm like, because I don't have the doors at the top on the Jeep, so I'm like, Pam, can I borrow your car?
Another hot week though. Like tomorrow's 84, Tuesday's 82.
Yep, it's hot here too. It's been 90 all week. I'm like, God, man, where's the fall? We got folks coming in. What's going on? Hey, everybody. Hey, Rhonda Lee. Good to see you. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello. We're going to have a good show tonight. Hello to our friends out in Indiana over on Instagram. Hope you're hanging in there with Abby down in Florida. Sergio, Zach.
Sergio, our guy in Italy. is now his name Sergio?
Yes.
Like the mime guy? Yeah.
Yes.
I like him.
Bean 5357, Benny. Carol and Adams 6, AJ Wade 88. Hello, hello. A lot of folks in here today already. Good deal. We're gonna have a good time. We need calls tonight, so we're gonna open up the phone lines after we start the show. So stand by, but we'll be taking calls. That's what we're talking about. Hey Ryan, happy Sunday to you.
And hey Jason, yes, that was a good game, definitely on Saturday. Good day for the green and white.
And how was the car wash?
Car wash went good. 500 cars, and they were
500 cars,
and they washed like first responder vehicles, like a lot of the police trucks. A fire truck came through and all that.
Dude,
so like, yeah,
that.
it's a lot of fun. We went through a couple times to see Emily.
Love that. I love your little post with the car wash song. I was stuck in my head every.
Oh yeah. It's their one fundraiser they do every year, so it's kind of fun. The kids have a good time with it. It was like a hot day, so it worked out pretty good. Just hosing each other down in between cars.
In the post of M, like for the 4 years, like, oh my gosh, we gotta stop doing that. It makes me sad. It's like, oh my gosh, it went too fast.
Yeah, I know that was the last one,
dude, and they were like 7 just 5 minutes ago.
I know. I remember the first car wash. I remember I was volunteering and I was like making the soap all day, and like I was just like constantly going at it. Last year we were at Give Kids the World, so I missed it last year. So it was cool to be a part of it this year.
Yes, we're not missing these things this year. We're doing it March, the first weekend of March, just so people know. It's actually my wife's birthday. So we better step up big. I'm taking it from my wife for her birthday. We're going to be at Give Kids the World. I'm bringing her. I'm hopefully bringing her. Shout out to our folks over in Seneca, Illinois. Benny 5357. And greetings to Rourke 2707 over on Instagram in Boston, Massachusetts.
So I did not watch much college football because of the car wash stuff, but I was looking for updates every now and then, and I would check on Mizzou. And I saw you guys had like a 3rd and 54 at one point when I opened up the app. I was like, what is happening?
We had a 2nd and 59. It is 2nd and 59. I was like, if we pick this one up,
a lot of penalties.
We did not. Yeah, it was not good. But yeah, it was 14-3 at one point in the game. I was like, man. But we came back. It was fine.
Yeah, we play them next week.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy how they went through Florida State, Mizzou, Michigan. It's the BOGP Bowl, somebody said over in the clubhouse. So
that's funny. Yeah.
That is a good team. I'm not kidding. Castellanos, dude, that dude is shifty, and that's a good team.
They got good coaching too. I mean, Bill O'Brien's an NFL coach.
They're legit. They got some ballers. All right, let's talk Disney. So here we go. Let's see here. Phone lines should knock on wood. The phone should be working. I just
that's right.
Talk to myself. The wire is jiggled. So we will see. Okay. here we go. Scott has tested his mic. We have all tested. We are all tested. Let's do this.
I changed like 3 things today.
We have done all prep. Here we go. Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to the BOGP Open Line for Sunday night, September 15th, 2024. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Sunday night to you, or Thursday if you're catching us on the replay. It's time for the Open Line. We're going to be taking your calls over the next hour at 407-413-9395. That's 407-413-9395. Talking about anything you would like to talk about tonight. We're going to have a good time. Joining me up in East Lansing, Michigan, your friend and mine from Must See Adventures, the Must See channel on YouTube, Scotty G. What's going on, Scott?
Happy Saturday, Mike. Oh, not Saturday. Oh my gosh,
dude, you're a day late, an hour short. What's going on?
Dude, I am so. All right, I just took the rust off here, so it's gonna be an air-free episode the rest of the way. Actually, I can't promise that, but happy Sunday to you, and yeah, happy to be here. I hope it was a great weekend for you. I know it's football season, and your Mizzou Tigers took care of business in Columbia, and my Spartans did as well. So it's always good when your football team in schools win, heading into a live show. I feel like we're like in better schools sometimes.
I put that on the board just in case we ever need it.
There you go.
And just,
yeah, a good weekend. We were just talking, like the weather's been kind of crazy. It's been hot here. I know it's been hot where you are. No rain. I think you said you just got some rain, but it's been a weird September here in Michigan, I think.
Yeah, it has. We got rain for about 15 minutes. It was my 15 minutes that I run to Taco Bell, and I don't have a top on the Jeep or doors. So bad timing. I had to take my wife's Blazer. Hey, we have 3 calls on the line right now. Should we hit them real quick and then we'll talk about what we got to talk about?
I mean, it is the live show. Let's get the listener calls in.
It's the open line. This is not our show. This is our listeners' show. And here we go. Call number 1. Calling from the 5 something area code. My eyes are so bad I can't even tell who's joining us.
Hey, Mike, it's Trisha without Abby from Indiana.
Oh my gosh, how is life, Abby Liss, so far out in Indiana?
I miss her a ton.
I know, I hear you.
Living her best life.
Yeah, she is.
So I really just wanted to call in and kind of use the show tonight. So just to tell her hi. So later this week when she's listening and catching up, she can hear my voice. And I know a couple weeks ago she called in and I didn't know it. And then when I heard her voice, it was just awesome. So
I love families like this, that you guys love each other so much that we're like the missing link here, even though we're in the days of social media, you guys can FaceTime and all that stuff immediately. But this is so cool. You mentioned it. She's living her best life. She's down there, getting life experience, living out her dream, making people's day every day, but also, doing the Lord's work. I saw her down there reviewing, what was the pickle milkshake the other day. I mean, if that's not the Lord's work, what is? I mean, come on now.
I know. Hopefully she saves some people some money. And I said, why did you guys buy 2 of them? Like, why didn't you just buy one and try it? And if you actually liked it, you could have bought 2, but that's how they roll. So,
I mean, that's, Scotty G and myself, you learn that stuff through, when you do podcasts, you do blogging, you're vlogging and stuff like that. When you're a rookie, you buy 2. Eventually, a couple years in, you ask for 1 for free because you're broke. That's how it goes.
I don't know why they did that, but yeah, they were not fans of it, but they had a great time together and she's doing great and just loves it. And the other day she said, or I guess she went to Epcot before work, and I said, well, I went to Aldi, so I think you're clearly winning.
It kind of sounds like a country song. You went to Epcot, I went to Aldi.
Yes, exactly. But no, if any listeners, my daughter Abby will be at Pecosville. So if you're down there, go say hi.
We sure will. And we're super proud of her. We're super proud of your family because you raised a good one.
Well, thank you so much. And we just love you all. You're our favorite podcast. And sorry to hop on tonight, but I just thought maybe in a few days when she pulls this up, she will, again, we talk all the time and FaceTime, but it's kind of different when it's unexpected.
Absolutely. Are you running right now? Because I know you're a runner.
I'm just out walking.
I was gonna say, okay, that's what I'll be doing after the show. We do our last 2 miles after the podcast. That's what I'll be doing a little bit.
I walk I get bored and I walk, and I go inside for a while. Then I get cold, so I come outside, and getting a little bit sad that I could live summer all year, getting sad that the daylight's getting shorter and it's getting a little bit cooler, but I'm going to hang on to what we got left.
I hear you. Hold on as long as you can, because it'll be cold soon.
Yes, it definitely will. But I hope you all are doing great. Love the show every week and love what you do and give me my Disney fix. But I just wanted to call in and say hi to my daughter from afar.
All right. We appreciate you, Tricia. We appreciate Abby too. So you guys stay safe out in Indiana. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks, Mike and Scotty G. I'll talk to you later.
All righty.
See ya. Bye.
All right. See ya. Bye-bye.
So Scott,
what a great way to communicate, right?
Exactly. And let me ask you, because Abby apparently is going to be Pecos Bills. And that brought back a memory of a great cast member interaction we had probably at least almost 10 years ago at this point, maybe 8 or so years ago.
8 or 7-ish, maybe, yeah.
7 or 8 years ago. You want to tell the story? I mean, great.
I believe it was Mallory's birthday when this happened. It was a marathon weekend, I believe. And we're at Pecos Bill just having a casual lunch with our families together, and we're just sitting there, and this great cast member comes by and says, "Hey, would you like some refills?" Which was a great offer, right? Because a lot of times, you got to go back up to the front of the line, and sometimes you're not sure if they're going to charge you again for another drink or not. So she just just said, "I'll give you new cups." And the girls wanted like their Sprites or whatever. I got like another Diet Coke. I'm sure you got a Coke Zero or whatever. And they brought them back, and we're going to give like a cast compliment, because I thought that was nice that she went out of her way, cleared our table and all that. We're just hanging out, it wasn't very busy, but I thought it was really nice. And then as we're walking out, we got these fresh drinks and a little inside the baseball, as Mike likes to put it for the listeners. Like Mike loves to like scare people. Like when you're, he likes to post up and like come out of corners and scare people when we're like vacationing. I think he does it in the house too, honestly. I think he just does it everywhere. So you haven't hung out with Mike. Like this is what he does. All right. So I don't know where Mike went. I don't know if he went to the restroom or what, but he kind of left. And then we're like, well, let's go out and find Mike, And so we're all walking out, and then boom, he comes out of nowhere. He comes out of this doorway that we didn't even know existed. He like had a secret door. Have you ever seen Beetlejuice where they like draw this door and it appears? That's kind of like what Mike did. I mean, he came out of this non-existent door and just went boom. And then Emily, poor Emily, like Mallory's kind of used to it, right? She lives with Mike, but Emily like not used to it. I don't do that. And she threw the Sprite that she just got refilled by the sweet cast member like 10 feet in the air, and it just drops and just like splashes everywhere. And yeah, I mean, it's just funny. I mean, we just got that nice refill from the cast member, and Mike just like boom, just came out of nowhere and it was gone. On
top of that, the cast member was so sweet. She came, and I mean, we felt terrible, right? Because
she came and cleaned it up, right?
I want to say she had I think Emily had like 2 of them on a tray or something, because it was a big mess. It was it was a big soda. It made a big mess. And the festival came after she gave them a free soda. She had to come and clean it up because like we had no way. It was such a big mess. Like we couldn't clean it up with just like paper towels. Like it was a big mess. She came and cleaned up the free soda that she gave them. And then on top of that, she gave them a second free soda because I was an idiot. And we were feeling so bad. We're like, this was totally us. We'll pay for the sodas. Like we were just screwed around. And like you were so nice, and we totally screwed up something that was soda. And she was like, no. She was so like, remember we got to pick, the girls got a picture with her. We saw the picture like here. It's on my frame here in the office. And like we wrote the cast compliment thing and sent it to guest relations. I mean, we did the whole thing.
And then what happened after that?
She got like on social media.
It got on social media. That was one that they posted because because that was back when they would share a lot of those cast count. They would get like the certificate. So we shared the photo of the girls with her, and then boom, like later that day or like a few days later, there she was on their social media, and I just like had to laugh. I'm like, oh man, the cleanup job she had to do for. I mean, there's worse cleanup jobs. I mean, it's just some Sprite,
Yeah,
but like.
just Sprite.
But like, I mean, the mess on the ceiling though, she might have had to go up on the ceiling and get on a ladder to clean up all the mess because there was spills everywhere from that scare.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. Like, I mean, you just like it was so funny at the like to see that because her and Mallory both like just jumped out of their wits for like 2 seconds. It was like then in the moment I'm like, I'm the biggest idiot. Like this girl was so nice giving free sodas, and I just totally made them spill them all over the place. She's probably like, man, a good deed goes,
Yeah.
no good deed goes unpunished.
And there's several degrees of the scaring that happens. So this is a regular thing for Mike. So he will like post up and get Emily, and once he got her on the Pirates of the Caribbean queue, and then afterwards, you get off the ride and you go up like the walkway, like the escalator thing, and like so Emily got way ahead and like got into the shop and she was ready to scare Mike. Okay, so Emily is in there getting no, this happened in the queue. Excuse me. Let me go back a step. This happened in the queue. So Emily got ahead of Mike and went to go scare him, but it wasn't Mike. It was like another guest. It was like this like 6-year-old girl, and Emily felt so bad. Like the one time she tried to get you back, she scared another guest, and she was like, and Emily felt so bad. Like, oh my God, I'm sorry. I thought you were him. Like pointed at Mike because he eventually came out of the corner. So we all kind of had a little laugh, but after we get off the ride, we go up to the gift shop and all that, and we're just hanging out. And then I see that girl post up on her mom to scare her mom. And then, so that's what I'm saying. Like you are like influencing the scaring.
Chain reaction, dude. It just keeps going, and it's the gift that keeps giving. And
I recall that mom said, like, asked, like, where did you learn that?
not this dude. Here's the thing, though. And I see Ben Lappin just joined us over on Instagram. Shout out, Ben. Sorry about your Gamecocks yesterday, man. That was a tough one. But here's the deal. When you're traveling in a pack, like with your family, or especially if you go with multiple families, like we go with the Gardeners and stuff and the Foresters and whoever we're traveling with, be aware of who you're traveling with. If somebody disappears, watch for corners. I'm just saying, like when somebody all of a sudden is like, because they can jump ahead of you a little bit or fall. If they fall behind you, you're okay because you're obviously they're not going to get you from behind, like that. But if they're ahead of you, gotta watch it because Walt Disney World, Disneyland, all those places are just filled with corners and nooks and crannies. And especially for folks like us, we're veteran travelers, dude. You know where to hide in the Pirates of the Caribbean. You know where that little, you can duck in that little archway or, the Haunted Mansion queue or something like that. I mean, it's made for people posting. I mean, Tom Sawyer Island, they're probably closing it because people give heart attacks to their siblings out over there all the time. This would be a great show topic. Actually.
Yeah, but PSA, I mean, when you're with Mike, because sometimes we'll have big groups right in the park, and like we'll get together for a little bit, and the groups break off, they come back together. But if you're ever hanging out with Mike, just because I know he's tall, so you think you wouldn't miss him, right? You think, he's 6'3". There's no way he can hide behind this secret door. No, he finds ways to hide.
I spent a season working in a haunted house, a pro.
Oh, we talked about that a couple of live shows ago. Yeah, that's right.
We did. I got paid for this. Okay, 407-413-9395, 407-413-9395. You want to talk about this? Has anything like this ever happened to you? Because we are kind of moving into the Halloween season. Also, one of the questions I have for you tonight is, what is the best costume you've ever seen at Walt Disney World, like at a Halloween party, maybe at Disneyland, something like that? I have one. I've talked about it on the show, but I'll give it. But we have a next caller on the line. Hey, who's joining us?
Hey, this is Abby from Indiana-ish.
Well, it's all in the family today on the show, and we like that very, very much. How is Florida tonight, Abby?
It's great. I got off about 4:30, and then I was going to go to Animal Kingdom with the sole purpose of riding Dinosaur. It was down, but it's okay. So we're still in Florida. It's not raining right now. I really can't complain.
But, I mean, you could still go to Animal Kingdom and have dinner at Satuli Canteen, which would be a nice consolation gift.
I could have.
That's
should have done that. Instead, I did Triceratops spin, and I just posted a picture and said, like, I guess this is what Seeker meant by not our dino.
That also
That's
works.
pretty good.
And by the way, that's Scotty G's favorite theme park down there, I think, right?
I mean, I love all the theme parks. I think Epcot is honestly my favorite, but Animal Kingdom is a close second, tied with Magic Kingdom and tied with Disney's Hollywood Studios, believe it or not.
I feel like if somebody asks me my favorite park, and like when you live here, that's a very common conversation topic. Like, what's your favorite theme park? And the only thing I can say is California Adventure. And I'm like, I can't rank the others. I just know California Adventure is my number one.
Now you're speaking Scott's language. I'm telling you, I know.
I've been saying for years that is the best domestic Disney theme park. So Abby, I'm glad we're on the page there. I knew I liked you. That's awesome.
I mean, it's got Pixar, it's got superheroes, it's got cars. Like, there's nothing there I can really complain about.
Absolutely. And yeah, I mean, it has like some good dining, it has some good cocktails, the thrill rides, the Cars Land, like some of the best themed areas. Yeah, and the weather is always beautiful. You got some street atmosphere and all that stuff. It is like the best Disney theme park. We should write a thesis together on it just to prove everyone wrong.
And I like that place right there by Soren for the breakfast. Those little breakfast burritos. What's that place called?
I was called like the Aviator restaurant.
Smoke Jumpers.
Yes.
Isn't it? Smoke Jumpers Grill. I like that.
Yep,
place.
Smoke Jumpers.
Yeah, good call. Huh. So what's been the highlight so far being in Florida? I know that you've been doing a lot, but like a top tier thing you've done so far.
Probably really just meeting so many people. At home, I'd gotten very bad about like, I had like a very small circle kind of. It's like the only people I really hang out with were people that I knew from the church I worked at, and they were like in my life group. So I had like very small circle. We were all very similar, and I've just met so many people from like so many different backgrounds. Like one of my roommates is British, the other one is Japanese, and like I love like hearing about people's lives. So just like meeting people has been incredible here.
Yeah, I can understand that. Being from the Midwest, you're gonna have a different accent. you're gonna come home, Christmas and craving fish and chips. I need some.
You never
chips.
know.
That's so cool. That is so cool. So now let me ask you this: we haven't really been there that long though, but what's your favorite like off-property place to grab something quick to eat?
Only place I've eaten is there's this Mexican restaurant called Lime, and it's right across from like the Flamingo Crossings apartments. I ate there on my first day, and it was really good. But I haven't like done too much off property because Disney's got this really weird grip on their employees where they give us discounts.
Yeah.
And it makes it to where we don't want to go anywhere else. Like, well, I could go somewhere off property, but there's that 40% off at Whispering Canyon.
Hey, you don't have to tell me. I mean, that's why you're there. Take advantage of it all you can. You deserve it. You're working. I like to hear that.
This whole, definitely people are looking for like good off-property restaurants. There's a bunch in this area that look really good. I haven't been there, they look nice, clean.
Yeah,
we definitely recommend the Flamingo Crossings area to people with cars.
I've heard that. So real quick, because I want to make sure we get this in, like so far as far as like your interaction stuff you've done, as far as like your Disney role, what is something that you've got to do that has been special so far? Like an experience you've had that really has made you excited for what you've gotten to do since you've gone to Florida.
So I've mainly trained on back of the house for the past 4 days, like in-person training. And then I start front of the house next week. So it's like, I haven't gotten a bunch of like guest interaction, but we've still got like the other night we were 15 minutes away from closing and about like 15 orders came in of people who just needed their Pecos bill right before we shut down. And the only people working on the line were like me and 2 other training girls. And like, we apparently did such a good job getting those orders out that our boss gave us dessert afterwards. So like, that's probably like my work highlight. But like, I haven't gotten a ton of like guest interaction yet. So I'm definitely looking more forward to that.
That's kind of how my wife rewards me. She went to the grocery store today and she came home. She was all excited. She got me Little Debbie fall cakes. Those like cakes, Little Debbie. They're like little fall cakes.
Yeah.
When Abby said Pecos Bill dessert, my mind just went to like those old, remember like the those desserts that were like the same, those little chocolate cakes or whatever that you get at every counter service.
Yes.
And you end up with like 35 of them.
I carried those things around in my backpack forever for like a decade because you got them with the meal plan with every meal.
It's where just my image goes, my mind goes, because like I would just have so many of those.
They had those little like confetti sprinkles on top.
The Mickey confetti sprinklers.
Oh, they were good. They stayed good forever too. Yeah.
I remember those from like the Boardwalk Pizza window.
Yes.
And like I just recently realized, I was like, wait, they don't have those anymore. Wow.
Oh, they're still around. I'm sure they're still somewhere. I mean, those things lasted probably 15 years, but you know, who knows?
I'll keep an eye out.
Okay, real quick, because you're the expert. What's the best meal to get at Pecos Bills for folks coming down? What's the best meal?
Ooh, I'd say it's the not so scary right now. We have this flatbread where it's like a flatbread, like crust. And then there's squash on it, and it's like lime chicken, lettuce, and some sort of like drizzle on top. And it just looks so good.
All right.
I can get down with some flatbread. I mean, you say flatbread, I think pizza. So, and
that's why I'm here.
So.
I mean, we're both from the mid. We're all three from the Midwest. I mean, flatbread just equals pizza. So there you go. Sounds good.
One more thing I feel the need to say is I noticed my mom called in before, and I have to laugh about that because it's a running joke in our house that she can't surprise me with anything. And I was checking to see if I was able to call in, and I hear her voice, and I'm like, well, there goes her surprise.
Well, you know, you're right. You kind of blew her surprise, but she already saw it.
She still surprised you though, because like you didn't expect to hear her. Maybe.
You got to pretend. Come on, your mom needs something. You moved away from home. Come on, you got to pretend.
I know.
Come on.
And she gets to live through me right now. I just post pictures of everything I do, and I text her and say, "Hey, sorry you're at work, but here's the coffee I just paid for at Epcot."
I'm telling you, that's what I do with my oldest daughter. She gets to work in sports. That's what I always want to do. I'm like, she's living her dream. She gets to do sports 24/7. I don't, but I get to pretend. So yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
I mean, it's the vacation brag. We all do that to our friends and family, right? When we're on vacation, we just like to. I'm on so many chat groups where like I just have to like, oh, look what I'm doing today. I'm hoping you're enjoying your Wednesday in that meeting today. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, killing people with that. But hey, we're all proud of you. Your family is, and we are too. So we're glad to see you're living your best life.
Well, thank you.
Well, all right. Well, we're gonna cut you loose. Got a couple other calls coming in, but hey, don't be a stranger. Call us next week. We want you to be our ambassador and let us know how it goes. This is awesome. We love hearing it.
All right, I'll keep you guys updated.
All right. Hey, keep living the dream.
Will do.
All right. Talk to you later, Abby. Bye.
Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye. All right. You heard it here. Get the flatbread.
I think I have a new neighbor. So like I keep looking over here if you're watching the camera, because like there's this house that's been for sale, and I see these two people just having some wine on the patio right now, and I don't know who these people are. But
all right,
I should roll up the window like, hey, tune in to the BR Guest Podcast. I'll introduce myself.
You be a guest on the show. Come on, neighbor. 407-413-9395. 407-413-9395. Wait, if I call it in from the 267 area code, you can give us a call back and join in the conversation. Guess if I calling in from the 301 area code. We got a lot of calls tonight. Let's do this right here. Hey, who's joining us?
Hey, Shaggy.
Shaggy, what's going on, Shaggy? I'm not Shaggy. I'm Mike.
It's been a long time since I've called in, but I had a quick story to tell about getting scared or almost getting scared at Disneyland when I was there last year. Actually, I was in California Adventure. I was at Paradise Pier. I typically carry a lot of camera equipment with me, and I'm trying to line up a shot for the Ferris wheel, waiting for specific light pattern to show up. And I just happened to turn my head, and inches away from me, getting ready to scare me, was Max. And we had a big laugh. The handler was about, a couple feet away, and he was actually going to scare me. So it was pretty funny. It was one of my highlights of that day, definitely.
Now, did you hold on to the equipment? That would be. That's where my mind was going. Like, please tell me you didn't drop any
I had
equipment.
a strap on, so I did not like toss anything in the air. So yeah, that would have been kind of because I was right by the water.
Yeah,
so it would have been kind of a disaster had I thrown my camera. But yeah, nothing like that. But that's something that can happen at parks over in California Adventure Disneyland. You'll never have that happen at Disney World with characters coming up to you like that. I've never had anything like that happen before at Disney World.
Isn't it crazy though, out of Disneyland? And again, I've only been there a few times. Scott, you've been there more than I, and Shaggy, you as well. But it is shocking for folks that have gone to World so long, and then you make that transition to Disneyland. Just the guest behavior and the guest experience, how guests approach the characters. You know, you'll see, for example, you know, you see like the Mad Hatter or Alice walking between the Matterhorn and the teacups, or walking through Fantasyland. And there's just an expectation that maybe you can walk up to them, grab a selfie, get an autograph. Nobody queues up. Nobody bothers them. Nobody stops them. No. I mean, at Walt Disney World, they would be tackled. I mean, it'd be, it's wild because I mean,
Cruise Line is another one where you see it too, because I remember once Liz and I were like on deck 4 looking out the ocean at sea, and we're just kind of having a moment. Then all of a sudden, boom, like Goofy is like in there. Maybe it's a family thing there, Shaggy. I don't know. But like, then boom, Goofy is like right there with us, like looking out in the ocean. I just love stuff like that.
That's awesome. And like, even at the parties, like Oogie Boogie Bash, the interactions that you can have during the party with the characters is unlike anything I experienced over on the East Coast at all. That you know, oftentimes there were characters just standing around, and you could, like, Loki was there at one point where he had just a tiny little crowd around him, and people were just chatting with him. And I've never experienced anything like, and I get the reason why it doesn't happen at Disney World. It's this space. It's the attitude is different because Disneyland is more of a locals park compared to how things are over on the East Coast. It's a completely different vibe. And my only thing with Disneyland is it's a little bit more claustrophobic. But other than that, they're both great. I enjoy both of them quite a bit.
To me, the interactions at Disneyland will feel more authentic. I mean, if I had to say like one word, it just feels more authentic out there.
Oh yeah. If you want to, in the trip that I had last year, I probably had more magic moments in those few days that I was there than like a half a dozen trips that I've taken to Disney World in that sense, with interactions with characters, except for maybe like doing like a princess dinner. Some of those are actually that I've done are actually quite entertaining especially when you get you know, one of them that they realize that the adults like to play too. Because I'm a solo traveler, I'm usually just by myself. So it's nice when they play with you too, and they realize that, you know, adults, we have a lot of us, we still have the kid side of us too.
No, it's why you're there, right? I mean, that's really
absolutely
good. Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
I've been going since I was little, so
exactly. I'm still picturing Max posting up on you with your cameras like that. I love like the visualization of that, but I could see it where it would have gone wrong. I'm so glad you had the camera strap and because I mean, what would the liability have been if this big, you know, $1,000 piece of glass would have gone flying? I mean, holy smokes.
I don't know what would have happened, but his finger was probably about like a few inches away from my shoulder. And I just happened to turn when right before he was about to touch me. And apparently there were other guests around that noticed this was about to happen. And so everyone had a good laugh, and I still always wondered what would have happened if he actually got to do it.
Yep. I just hope somebody had a video, had their camera rolling. You know what I'm saying? Like if somebody's going to get me good, have the camera rolling.
But that's the one thing about carrying a camera that I've been trying to do more is that I try to live a little bit more in the moment and try to let some things stay as memories.
Yeah. No, that's
where you wish the photo pass was behind them and snapping that, you know, so that you can have that like in your memory maker. Like,
like watch this, but make sure taking pictures. Or
Exactly.
videos.
I've seen years ago. I saw a post on like Twitter about that, and it was kind of creepy in a way. But like this girl, like kind of like took a nap or like fell asleep, like in the hub grass, just like just hanging out. And then they woke up and there was like a PhotoPass card next to them, like a PhotoPass, like took photos of them sleeping and left them a card. I don't know, but I mean, it seems kind of cool, but that could be kind of creepy too in a way. But
Yeah, I know. Seriously, there's a fine line there, man. That's good. You're right. I mean, it could go either way.
Sometimes you got to let the cast have a little bit of fun too.
Absolutely do. Yeah,
That's true.
but wouldn't you love that though, Mike? If you like dozed off like somewhere and then like all of a sudden there's like a PhotoPass card or like it's in your memory maker of you.
I would like it.
taking
Yeah,
a nap.
I would like it, but I could see, like we're in such a litigious society and such an easily offended society. So I'd be like, man, why are you taking pictures of me while I'm asleep? I think it was hilarious. I'd be like, yeah,
it would be
whatever. But I mean, I remember back in the day, one of my favorite podcasts 10 years ago was Beta Mouse with, Nate and Henry and all them. And Henry always talked about, I mean, a lot of this stuff happened like with magic bands and all that, they called them magic bracelets and all that back then. But Henry always swore that in the future, everybody was going to have a magic orb that followed them around their entire vacation and just took like video and photos of you the whole time. It just like floated next to you.
I want the magic orb.
Saying that'd be so cool. I've never left that idea. How cool that would be. Just to like,
someday there will be cameras everywhere in the parks, and you'll have your magic bands on, and those cameras will just be following you, and you just will never know when you'll get a picture.
Everyone will be a YouTube vlogger then.
Someday.
Yeah. And if you think about it, I think a couple of years ago, Snap, like the company that does Snapchat, they sold like a pretty inexpensive little vlogger. Like it was like basically like a personal drone that would, like if you wanted to walk and talk, it would like hover 5 feet from you and just like it had like, like I don't know what that's called, the kind of radar or something. It would know it'd stay 5 feet in front of you no matter where you went. So you could run, you could walk and talk to it, and it would just track you. And so, I mean, that basically was a personal orb. Now, could 25,000 people have them in a theme park.
You don't want those.
Dude, that'd be crazy. But I mean, think about everything that we have nowadays. 20 years ago, people would be like, that's nuts. I mean, maybe.
I'd love to have one on Shaggy though when he was taking this photo.
Oh God, I just want that Max photo now. Like I'm picturing.
I was still taking film pictures, 20 years ago.
Yeah, so. I agree. I love that though. I mean, that's again, it's all about making memories and having those. You remember that day, and that's what it's about. That's cool. Well, Shaggy, we appreciate you, buddy.
You guys have a good one.
You too.
I'll let someone else have a go.
Hey, it's good to talk to you, buddy. Good talk. Thanks for taking the time to call. Appreciate it.
All right. Y'all take care.
Okay.
Bye.
See you over in the clubhouse. Bye-bye. All right. 407-413-9395. 407-413-9395. Love your calls. Love getting to talk to you because a lot of you guys we see over in the clubhouse, but it's great to get to actually talk to you on the phone here. We have a question here, Scott, over on Instagram from Kurt1452. Says, love the show. Thoughts on plans for Princess Half Marathon weekend? How do the crowds compare to marathon weekend? So what would you tell Kurt about that comparison? Hang tight, though, because we do have a call. So put that one on ice. 1 second. 1 second. Oh, we got this call. So, Kurt, your answer's coming up. So just wait 1 second. But, hey, caller, who do we have?
Hey there. This is Rachel from the land of Ricky.
Oh, down in Atlanta-ish.
Yes. In Gwinnett County area, but my phone number is a 954 number, so it gets a little confusing.
I always get confused. She's in the Sugar Hill area. That's all I know because I just track her to see if she's home from work. Ish. That
sometimes she'll mention stuff, and I'll be like, I know where that is.
Because I'm like, are you part of the Sugar Hill gang from back in the day?
But, no, she's not. There is a gang, but no, I'm
not. Nice. What's going on down that way?
Well, you were talking about big scares, and I don't know if anybody remembers the alien ride in Tomorrowland.
Oh, yeah.
That's the biggest scare I've ever had in my entire life.
So were you pro alien encounter, the extraterrestrial alien encounter in Tomorrowland, or were you against it?
Well, I was like 10 at the time, so I was definitely against it. It was something my sister and I, when we walked out of the room, we sat there for a while, quite recovering from what had happened to us.
So tell us the story.
Experience.
I mean, it was called the extraterrestrial. I mean, terror was in the title of the attraction.
They like highlighted it and put it in all caps.
Yes, they
There was
did.
a warning.
Yes, I mean, it was definitely in all caps right there on the top. So how did you guys get into this attraction? Did you go with your parents? Did you venture off as like your siblings went in there by yourselves? Like, tell us the story of how this unfolded.
Well, I have two older brothers who like to terrorize their younger sisters.
Okay.
And they wanted to ride that ride desperately. And so we all had to go on it together because my mom was with us. And that was the rule that whatever we did at that moment, we all had to do it together. My brothers had a good time, but my sisters and I were absolutely scarred for quite a bit, for a couple of years there. It was pretty terrifying. It was but it's funny though, when I went on Stitch several years later, how similar the rides are. But the whole vibe is completely different when they changed it to Stitch.
That's what I was going to ask, if Stitch made a difference, because I mean, Stitch could have been scary because it was still very dark. You know, the lights went out, the thing was loose in the room. But you're right, man. I remember when Extraterrestrial was there. There was no joke. I can't believe that thing was in the Magic Kingdom. Scott, did you ride that thing?
I mean, yeah, it should have been in like studios or something. It should not have been in Magic Kingdom.
100%. 100%.
Like there's this part where in Stitch where I guess does he spit on you or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yep. and the alien one, that was not spit. It was something else, and somebody was dying at that point in the ride. It was terrifying.
Yeah, it was like his guts, and he was. Yeah, it was actually there was guts hitting you, and he was spitting acid. Is what it was.
Yeah.
In that ride, it's supposed to be acid. Scott, did you do the original Alien?
I never did it, but Elizabeth was probably a couple years older than Rachel, my wife, when she did it. And from what I heard, she did the pre-show, and Elizabeth has this thing with aliens, can't stand them, and she just ran out screaming. So she never actually made it inside to the attraction. The pre-show was enough for her. So at like 12 years old.
I get it, man. It was wild. I just cannot imagine, because this has to go through so many levels to get an attraction into the Magic Kingdom, and this thing was it was terrifying. Era, right? Yeah, but like it didn't even, like Eisner, right? He was all about synergy and tying things into other properties, right? But this thing was, I mean, it was terrifying for like teenagers. You know what I mean? That's who they were probably trying to hook. Because the thing is, too, I mean, anybody that did the Stitch version, too, first thing is you got in that chair and that thing, I mean,
I was uncomfortable. I've never liked that. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, not only was it uncomfortable, but I mean, you were like stuck in there where you were not moving. So if you're any kind of claustrophobic, it brought that kind of like anxiety out in you. I mean, it just brought all kinds of in the dark anxiety. If you had kind of like a fear of darkness or being constrained, and then you had
something touching you and you don't know what it is.
Exactly. Something touching you in the darkness and you had the burping on you. I mean, that was just gross. But I mean, this thing was just, who had the idea? I mean, in a way it was awesome if you really liked scary things, but who thought this was a good idea in the Magic Kingdom? Like it was like a hop, skip, and a jump from Cinderella Castle. Boom, like somebody like lost a bet and like, I'm putting this thing like right here, in the shadow of Cinderella Castle. I still can't believe
something going to happen with that space. Like I walk by that and I'm just like, man, I want something there, because Tomorrowland is like my favorite land, and I want something there so bad.
What would you do with it? What do you think? What would be a good use for that?
You asking me or Rachel?
Both of
you. Rachel. Yeah, let's hear about Rachel. Thanks.
I mean, they used to do character meet and greets over there. I don't know. I have no clue what that space could be used for anymore. I have no thoughts.
Did you guys, did either one of you guys get to do the timekeeper when it was around?
No, but that's what my answer was going to be, because I used to listen to that on Magical Mouse Radio all the time, and I just loved listening to that. It was so good.
The timekeeper was cool. I wish they'd bring that back, because it had like Robin Williams was the voice of the timekeeper, and like it had Ray Perlman was the Nine Eye, and
it was
this like it was like a Circle Vision kind of tour thing. And I mean, I think it was in where Monsters Inc. was, not
I was about to say, I don't think it was in that theater necessarily.
Yeah, it was where Monsters Inc. was. But bring it over there. Like that thing was pretty cool. Like, bring it back. Like something like that. The thing is, I just can't believe a place like Walt Disney World leaves prime real estate like that sit for 10 years, or 5 years. It just
Be like because it was like a Fast Pass kiosk for like a long time too.
yeah,
Remember, like
yeah.
Fast Pass Plus.
Mhm.
Like I would love, even if it was like a restaurant or something. Even like why is it just sitting there empty? It bugs me so much.
I've heard
Or
that they were going to put a Wreck-It Ralph attraction in there at one point. But
at one point, it was gonna be like a Vanellope like
yeah,
race
some kind of Wreck-It
thing or
Ralph
something,
thing.
right?
I
Yeah.
haven't heard about that in
The
years.
thing is that the footprint is like not big enough to have like a moving ride, so it had to be like a simulator or some
Right.
shit or something, which like I don't necessarily want more of that. But I
Mhm.
don't know. I like the meet and greet idea there too, like just something, right?
Something, yeah, just anything. I mean, just anything's better than nothing. I
Mhm.
mean, it's right. It's the first thing you come to in Tomorrowland. I mean,
But it
it's
can't be like
the
it
hub.
can't be like an e-ticket attraction because like it just where all the people gonna go is another problem. Like for like a huge
Yeah.
standby line, like it can't be. It's got to like be like a nice people eater, like a theater of some like a show of some sort. But it can't have like a lot of people in line. I feel like, or else walking through Tomorrowland is already crowded enough a little bit in that area. But
Right.
then you got Monsters
Especially when
Inc.,
it
which is like
rains
the
in
same
that
thing.
area,
But
floods like crazy.
That is true. The rain does cause problems.
yeah,
But
Uh,
to
I vote
bring
for a restaurant. I vote for a table service restaurant in Tomorrowland.
that is true. That'd be a good one. Hey, is there a table service restaurant in Disneyland? There's not, is there?
In Disneyland's Tomorrowland,
No.
no, now I'm trying to think. I mean, I think there's like some
Pizza
counter
right
service, like the pizza places over there.
Yeah.
But yeah,
There's no table. Why is there no
Mm.
table service restaurants in Tomorrowland?
I don't know.
Hmm.
Fix some Magic Kingdom dining. You're going to need more dining if you're going to expand in
Yeah.
other areas. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up that story though about alien encounter, because that is the most terrifying attraction that never should have been in the Magic Kingdom. But it would be perfect for the studios though. Like it would fit in fine there. I mean, because it tied in, to movies and that genre. Because it was, I mean, obviously it was meant to like get teens excited to probably compete with Universal
Yeah.
at the time, which is exactly what it did.
And
Dude, I mean,
yeah,
just,
and they
you
had the
said it.
alien. They had an alien scene in the Great Movie Ride.
Yes, this is Alien. I just remember that.
Yeah.
Just in case you didn't know.
And rumor is they reused that animatronic as Finn inside of Rise of the Resistance. So
Oh, I like that.
Really?
I like the yeah.
yeah,
I mean, they reuse a lot of stuff. That kind of makes sense.
That's so funny. I
What
guess-
if they like
they got to reuse them.
going back to the restaurant idea though? Like, what if it was like they had like robots like serve you food or something? Something cool, like something like Tomorrowlandish or
One of
something. It was like,
Yeah. Oh, I've seen those on Amazing Race. That'd be awesome. Like with the conveyor belts.
yeah. Oh yes, yes.
I would go there every time. I've always wanted to go to one of those places where the food goes by on the conveyor belt. I'd be, because I'm a sucker for gimmicks like that.
I mean, I feel like they could do something like that, something that feels futuristic in quotes, but
Right.
100%. Yeah, and like Jason said something like San Francisco, like out of DCA, like dude, boom, Baymax, San Francisco, the sushi coming by on a conveyor belt, man, take my money. Wouldn't even have to be good sushi. It could be gas station
heard it here
sushi and I'd be eating it. Yeah, heck yeah, Rachel, we need to get credit right here. We just came up with it. It's sitting there empty. Let's use it. Let's go.
let's use the space. There's a lot of empty space in the theme parks these days. I feel like that we need to start using. But then I don't want it to be like the thing they just did at Epcot. You know what I mean? The festival center or whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't want it to be like that.
That was a group project where they didn't try real hard.
It was
But
one.
Todd, I have an answer to one of your questions you asked a couple weeks ago about the Skyliner.
I don't remember the question, but what's your answer?
Well, yeah, my sister actually works on the Skyliner. She's one of the coordinators,
Oh,
and
cool.
you were talking about them needing to have more empty cabins coming through the Riviera.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and so she said that I had asked her about it, and she said that there's conditions for it, and that they usually send one closed door behind each ADA cabin that comes in, and it all depends on what kind of day that they're having, and they call them breezy, foggy, or stormy days. If it's a breezy day, they get one cabin going after Riviera. If it's a foggy day, there's two, and if they're stormy, there's three, but they don't often do the second two because it really clogs up the line going to the International Gateway line to Epcot. So it's something. It's better off for them to walk to the Caribbean station, whatever. But they have a system in place of it, but they lose up to 30 or 40 seconds of loading time because of all of that. So it cuts into their efficiency.
That's super interesting, though. They do have a procedure in place, but it all gets down to numbers, right? They want to run as efficiently as possible every day because they're probably judged on that.
I'll just tell you, I've waited a very long time at the Riviera many times, and where to like what your family member said, I'm to the point now I just walk to the Caribbean station now and just like don't even bother with it.
Right. It's not that far. I know.
No, it's not. It's just funny because like the Riviera is like the deluxe resort, right? So it's like,
right.
I'm not a bougie person by any means, but like, oh, if I'm staying here on DVC points, I should use the Riviera Skyliner. I'm not trying to be like
you should though. I mean, what you're playing deluxe.
But then it ends up being like an inconvenience. Well, we talk about that, Mike, but like the bus services at a lot of the deluxe resorts doesn't seem they're as good as the values.
Bus service is better at the values than the deluxes. That's a hill I'll die on. Yeah.
But yeah, and I agree, Rachel. Yeah, it's not that much more effort just to go down to the main station. That's kind of like what we do now when we want to go to Epcot when we're staying there.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm glad to know there's some kind of procedure though. That's some good information. I love it.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah. I'm always asking her random questions after I listen to a podcast from you guys. I'm like, hey, what's going on with X, Y, and Z? Whatever. She doesn't have too much insider knowledge, but she hears things sometimes.
That's good stuff. Hey, we have all the insiders tonight. We love this, man. We're
I have a question for you then. Does she work different stations then? Or like is she mostly like, oh, I'm always at the International Gateway station, or do they kind of rotate with the stations they work at? Do you know?
So she's a coordinator, so she rotates through all of them. She's kind of like the manager of all of them. And so they do rotate their different positions either at each station or they go to different stations as well. So, but if you're ever there, her name is Rebecca. Sometimes she'll wear a name tag that says story on it, whatever. Anytime anybody goes up and bothers her, she knows I've sent them. So if you guys see a Rebecca.
Oh, well, Rebecca from Georgia?
No, from Florida.
Okay.
It'll say Sunrise, Florida on there. That's where we were born and raised.
Oh, okay, cool. We'll look for Rebecca for sure.
We will definitely look for her.
And now that you put it on the Be Our Guest podcast, she's going to get blasted now.
Thousands of people will be looking for Rebecca from Sunrise, Florida.
I should warn her.
I love it.
She can handle it. She's great.
And our listeners just love our cast member friends who make the magic. Without our cast member friends, we wouldn't have as great vacations as we do.
And she loves it. She loves every minute of it. That's been her dream, and she's living her dream right now.
We appreciate that so much. Well, hey, thanks for the call, and look out for Ricky on the roads. And if you see her, say hey.
Or stay away.
Or stay away. All right, we'll see you, Rachel. Thanks for the call.
Night,
we appreciate you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, 407-413.
Like the inside information there on those.
Yeah, dude, we're getting it all tonight. By the way, I got to give you a shout out for your football coach up in Detroit with his commercial.
Oh, the Applebee's commercial, yeah.
Every time that thing comes on, cover your mouth, man. They're gonna steal your order.
It's so good.
So good. I love that. By the way, Dan Campbell, best actor ever.
He's a great coach, man, and he took 100% blame on today's loss, which I kind of agree with, but that's all right.
They beat the Rams last week. It's okay. Okay, Kurt. Kevin, come on, we got another call. I promise, Kurt, we're going to answer before the show's over because we will not end the show without that answer. But Kevin's on the line. Kevin, let's get to your question or comment. What you got for us, buddy? I want to get you in.
How are you?
I'm good. How about you, brother, out in Ohio?
Good. Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great, Kevin. Good to hear from you.
Good. I had a quick question. Okay, a dining question. What do you truly think about it? Okay. If you could go to any fancy restaurant property, but you couldn't go to Brown Derby, the California Grill, or Artist Point, where would you go and why?
Okay, Mike. So what signature meal are you going to go to? So you can't go to Brown Derby California Grill, and I missed what the last one was, Kevin. But
Artist Point.
Artist Point. Gotcha. Okay.
I've never been to any of those three. So let's see. So I would go to
Tough call.
fancy.
Well,
I
while
would
you're
go-
thinking about it, okay, you got an
I
answer?
got mine because I'm curious about this place because everybody raves about it, and I've never been there. Flying Fish over on the boardwalk. Everybody says it's so good, and everybody says they have a great steak. Even though I'm a seafood person, I would maybe try the seafood, or I might try a steak there because everybody says it's good. And but, I mean, I've never heard a person say that it's not outstanding. So I would try Flying Fish.
That's where my last meal was that I've had at Walt Disney World was at Flying Fish.
Really? How was it?
I thought it was great, and like Mike was saying, like it's a seafood place. But a lot of seafood places always tend to have a really good steak too, especially like a signature level. And I went with the steak. I went with the steak, and it was fabulous. Like it was one of the top that I've had at Walt Disney World for sure.
That's kind of like an oxymoron. Don't you think? I mean, a seafood place having good steak, that seems like counterproductive. Don't you think?
A little bit, but I mean, but if it's if they're making good seafood, like I would hope that they can make a good steak too, because not everyone is going to want seafood. Like Mike's family, for instance, doesn't care for seafood necessarily. So if they went, but Mike does, right? If Mike wants to get some scallops or some kind of other fish,
like surf and turf kind of situation. Yeah,
it's good surf and turf too. Yeah.
What, Mike? What fancy places have you gone to that you like?
I've gone to Jico. We went there for a celebration for the travel agency. I really like that. I have been to Le Cellier. I really enjoy that. That's a nice meal.
Yeah, I've been there too. And no disrespect, but we were really impressed with the I remember I think somebody in my party had a steak, and it was really small, like not very big. But if you liked it, that'd be okay. That's awesome. I mean, the reason I'm asking is, the last time we went to Disney, we went with my brother and his family, and he has 2 young kids in his family. So, we want to cater to them by having a lot of kids meals, obviously. So the next time we go, it's gonna be more like an adult themed vacation. So I'm looking for places that like I said, are really fancy and kind of upscale. You know what I mean?
Well, Scott would be more your man for that because I don't do a lot of the fancy dining. Scott does. Go ahead, Scott. Because you got all those places at the Grand Floridian. You've gone to Tiffin's.
For sure. The one I would recommend is Topolino's Terrace, though, at the Riviera. That is consistently been one of my favorite places to go recently. And speaking of seafood, they have one of the best seafood dishes I've ever had in my life, and that's the sole fish. So if you like fish by any means, you got to get the sole at Topolino's. It's one of the best meals I've had.
Really? Okay. I'll look into it. Yeah, I heard of Topolino's. We went to the Riviera just to walk around one time, and we really liked it, but we never eaten there. So, yeah, that's good. So, thank you for the recommendations.
Well, thank you for the call, Kevin. We hope you're doing well out in Ohio. So we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, guys.
All right, see you, buddy.
Yep. Have a good night. Enjoy the trip.
All right. Well, hey, we
It's
got
like opposite trips, man. He went from like a trip with like young kids
kids.
to like an adult vacation coming up.
the Happy
That's
Meals to adult meals at Topolino's.
Yeah, there we go.
Fish and all the fancy places. I like it though, because again, it shows the diversity of your vacations at Disney destinations. I mean, it can go from chicken nuggets to, $100 steak, or like you said, I mean, some of your meals are, I mean, think about what's a Victoria and Albert's meal cost. I mean,
Oh my gosh.
hundreds of dollars.
Yes.
But I mean, you can also have chicken nuggets for lunch that day.
You can go to Gasparilla at the same location, at the same place.
Exactly the same place. Yeah, I mean, literally 100 yards away. It's crazy. All right, we promised Kurt to talk about the difference between Princess and Marathon. So walk him through that, Scott, because Princess is probably your favorite run Disney weekend from the past. Talk about, compare and contrast the two for him.
Yeah, I mean, so I think it's still a good vibe at Princess, and I like it because the weather tends to be a little more consistent. So I've done Marathon plenty of years where it's been smoking hot or it's been freezing cold. So where Princess is, you take a chance at it being warmer potentially, but I like that. I mean, the races start pretty early enough, and there's no marathon that weekend, so I feel like it's a great weekend. And for me, Mike, it's just coming from the Midwest, like in late February, like I am so over winter at that point. I just need to see something green. I need to see some blue grass because all I see is gray for like 3 months in Michigan, basically. So the time of year is really great. It kind of like sparks like winter being done for me. Like I go down there for Princess in late February. I come back like, late February, early March. I'm like, okay, I could just get through like one more month and it'll be spring. But I think your question was about like crowds wise too. I'll say it's not as busy as Marathon Weekend because there's 4 races, so there's a lot more happening. And it's just that's like the granddaddy of them all. It's like the Rose Bowl, right? Of Run Disney events. It's the big one. But for Princess though, like I just like it. It's got great energy. I would say there's probably more women that run these races because it's like about empowering women, which I just love, like the women empowerment feel to it because I have wife and daughter and all that. And it's just a fun weekend, lots of energy. Lots of guys that go to these too. I'll say Run Disney in general, though, Mike, I think is mostly women run those races anyway. So honestly, I don't really feel a difference from Princess to any other weekend when it based like on who's participating too,
I'd say, Princess lends more towards the women than the other weekends, but you're right. Run Disney tends to cater more to women than men. I would say probably the 70-30, maybe 65-35, I'd guess. I never really thought about it until you just said that. I'm like,
sometimes because we have a lot of great lizards that will pull data, like what were these age ranges, like all these metrics, and I love like looking at it like after the race weekends, and it's fun to see that. But I feel like you feel about like the same kind of balance for every race weekend for all sorts of ages and demographics, which I love.
Yeah, I do love it. But yeah, you're right. I mean, and the thing is too, I think now with the return of the Disneyland race in January, that it has pulled some of the pressure off of Princess, which means like getting in Princess was a little bit easier this time around. And I think it makes Princess a little bit even more laid back than it was a few years ago. I think with more diversity in the race calendar now, like with that September race out at Disneyland that we just had a couple of weekends ago. Now we have the Disneyland race in January. You got Marathon Weekend in January. You got Princess in February. You got Springtime in April. The more races you have, what I think it's a win for everybody, even if you're only running one race weekend throughout the calendar, because if you only have like 2 or 3 race weekends throughout the entire Run Disney year, for one, the competition to get in for any of the races is just incredible. It becomes like a lottery, which is miserable on everybody. But plus, everything is just it's so just intense all the time.
Right.
I just like that, I love seeing that the races are not sold out. That just means that hopefully there's a little bit more room on the course. The expo isn't so nuts. The hotels are a little bit easier to book. Just everything flows better when it's in Princess is probably your best weekend at Walt Disney World to have the best availability at the hotels.
Right.
But again, we're even seeing over Princess right now, like Pop Century is already booked up. I mean, because it's already, like you said before the show started, it's mid-September already. That's in February. It's crazy.
But I love that weekend. If anyone ever asked me, that is always going to be my favorite weekend, just because I just love the vibe of everything, the women empowerment. But I will just say that I also it's a great weekend to run if you want to run through Cinderella's castle and you can't get in the marathon, because those 2 weekends are the only ones that have a race that go through Cinderella's castle. So if you're thinking Springtime Surprise or Wine and Dine, you're not going through there. So that's another reason why I love Princess, because you have that another opportunity to run through the castle, which always gives me goosebumps every time I do.
Also, what I used to do too, like I ran Marathon and Princess as like my two, because if you ran Marathon, you were pretty much trained up and you could just kind of hold on to it for another month and just like
Right.
run Princess, because if you ran the 26, you could probably hold on long enough to run 13 again another month later and then just blow it the rest of the year if you
Yeah,
want.
there you go. Yeah.
Because it was the same course, it's
Yep.
the same half marathon course. And that was kind of a way to do that. So also real quick, we were going to have some news at the top of the show, but we got to the calls right away, which we appreciate. Trisha calling in so soon. But breaking news, speaking of September, if you're headed down on September 21st, right, Scotty G?
The
Tell
21st
everybody
night of
about-
September.
Drop the Earth, Wind, and Fire
Saturday.
news. It's a Saturday?
Yeah, it's a Saturday.
Nice. So if you're riding Cosmic Rewind, you will hear September all day and all night, every single ride. That's perfect. I
It
think
is perfect.
that should be.
I feel like they should just do it for the whole entire month.
They should. See, exactly. That's why we're best friends, man. They should. I mean, this would be on the 21st of September. It
But
could be-
again, people that have that one trip like might not want to, and they do it multiple times, might want to have opportunity to hear all the songs, which I get. So that the one day makes the most sense from a operations nightmare, of people complaining about it.
should they play Halloween songs in Halloween? Should they come up with a new playlist for that?
Yeah, I will tell you the Run Rocket Run that they did that 1 year, right, for the Christmas was not the best. I was hoping they were going to do like 80s Christmas songs. Is what I was hoping for when they did like the holiday overlay.
Were you hoping they do like Last Christmas by like Wham or something like that?
Yeah, or like
the waitresses,
Christmas rapping. Yeah. I know, but didn't happen because you could have like a good 80s Christmas mix. I feel like for sure. There's something
I got my eye on you that you're not sliding one past me on this one today. See, I'm paying attention.
Yeah.
with that yellow card.
Oh,
stuff.
well, yeah. So all these groups, yeah. Wham.
Because the clubhouse called me out all week. By the way, we saw in the clubhouse yellow card that performed over at the Eat to the Beat concert series. Record-breaking crowd last week. It
was awesome. That was awesome to see. And I've always said this, like when you think about like your value in a theme park ticket, right? Like I know the value has gone up. I mean, the pricing has gone up on those. Annual passes have increased, but when you're like in a festival weekend and your theme park ticket gets you access to like music acts and all that, which is a lot of time of the year, right? I feel like it's just not during Flower and Garden. You get like the thing during the arts that had like that Broadway series. There's a Flower and Garden food and wine. Just the fact that's included in your theme park ticket. You don't have to pay extra. Now you could pay extra if you want like premier seating through some of those dining plans, right? But you don't have to. You can just wait with your theme park ticket and get to see a live show. Like that's always like blown me away. Like I just think that adds so much value that people don't think about with their theme park ticket.
And it's so easily accessible, right? I mean, you can't, like I said, you can get premier seating, but I mean, it sounds like almost people just like will stroll up with a dessert in my hand and just watch from the back.
Yep.
And bam, I'm seeing, like Boys to Men.
I've seen Boys. That was the best show I've ever seen. They came out playing Lenny Kravitz music, man. It was awesome.
No, it's like, and you have no planning. You're just like, you watch them for like 20 minutes and bam, you're just moving on to ride a ride 15 minutes later. It is the easiest.
I saw the King of Yacht Rock there once, Christopher Cross, man. He did a great set. He even like did like this little Beatles medley, which, I went nuts for as a Beatles guy. Like, I was like, that is the best, and then like, you could go, they do like 3 shows, right? You can go back and watch it. A lot of times I think they play the same set, unfortunately, but like, I love the groups that like, just like switch it up, right? Like our next set is going to be different, man. You can just watch 3 different shows in one night. I just think that's awesome that happens at Epcot, because like I feel like in town, like if I want to go to a music festival or something, I'd be paying the same price, but then I plus have all the extra amenities of Epcot, It's just, I love it.
Absolutely. Hey, well, let's do this next Sunday night. What do you say?
Let's do it.
All right. We had a lot of
It'll be the day after the 21st of September. So we'll talk about how that went.
Yes. We'll have to get somebody good that was boots on the ground there on Saturday to let us know how Earth, Wind, and Fire did on the attraction there. And Rhonda Lee, you're always so kind. We appreciate you hanging. She hung out with us the whole hour, as she does every time.
Amazing. And what I tell you, Mike, it was going to be dark when we ended, and you can see my window right here.
You can't even see my McBoo buckets anymore here in the studio. I'm gonna have to get some better lighting or put some lights inside.
It was light when we started. It was dark when we ended.
It's that time of year, man. It's almost the 21st of September. But if I play it, we'll get taken down on YouTube, so I can't. So bummer. Anyway, got to go ride Cosmic Rewind. But we'll be back again next Sunday night. Again, the time is 7 Eastern, 6 Central. We're here taking your calls. We appreciate everybody who took the time out of their evening tonight to give us a call. That was great. That's what this show is all about. We want to hear your voices, and it's just, we got some insider information tonight. We got to talk about Max scaring Shaggy. I mean, how often do you get to say that? Max scaring Shaggy. Come on now. That's great. Rachel calling in with that insider information. Abby down there in her college program, and Mom saying, I miss you, Abby. I mean, it's like, I mean, what more do you want in an hour-long call-in show?
You almost wanted it to be like Scooby sharing Shaggy though, but Max works though.
I didn't think about that. Yeah, totally. Yeah, where's Velma? Exactly. It's so fun. Anyway, we are getting out of here. Don't forget, you can follow Scott on the social media at Scott EPSCOT and check him out on Must See Adventures. New show is out there right now to check out with this C-Day. So check out all the fun. They did a detective mystery kind of activity on the ship.
It was a lot of fun.
Was that fun?
It was a lot of fun.
The live mystery on your seat.
And we played British Bingo. If you want to learn, if you want to see how British Bingo works, I know we don't go into too much detail on that episode, but I think we might on another. So yeah, spoiler alert, we're going to play it again on another episode. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. C-Days are fun, man.
And hashtag Sorrento slices.
Yeah, Sorrento. The contest is still going. So, you'll see where I landed on that episode and see if you're on track, because we're about halfway through both sailings. Like, do you think you're going to be the one? Some of you already passed. Like, you're already out of contention. You know, you said like 22 slices. I'm sorry, I laughed when I saw your comment. Like, little do they know.
That was really
yeah. But it's a lot of fun. Like and subscribe. It's a lot of fun putting those out there for you. It's then we'll have some new content, right? I'm still running through the European summer vacation. That's a lot of content I had, but I got a Walt Disney World trip coming up. I recorded some stuff in Nashville, so we got lots of more stuff that we're going to be sharing through the rest of the year.
All right. And don't forget our show brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We're standing by this week to help you plan an amazing Walt Disney World, Disneyland, or Disney Cruise Line, even Adventures by Disney trips. Go out there and see the whole world. No cost to you, and concierge level service each and every time. We'd love to help you because it helps support the podcast at the same time. It's a win-win. Check out all the details right now over at themagicforless.com. When you shop online over at Amazon, if you have a daughter who messed up their screen protector on their iPhone, you got to buy another one of those for the 7th time. Just click through the link, beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. Not that I had to do that again. Also, daughters keep you in business with Amazon, I'm telling you. And let's see, Patreon. If you want to support us on Patreon, it's $5 a month. Really, it's like a cup of coffee a month, and it really does help us out, because if everybody does that, it really does help us with our bandwidth, this video hosting, all that stuff. And you get a bonus show every week. It's called Mike in the Midwest. This week we talked about, are we losing our sense of wonder? Right now we have 19 people in space, 19 people, and people are further out from the Earth than they've been since Gemini 11. And I haven't heard anything about it in the news at all. Hardly. It's crazy. 19 people are in space. It's wild. If we lost our sense of wonder, we have a conversation about that on Mike in the Midwest. So if you want to get a bonus show every week, just kind of fun. Sometimes it's Disney talk. Sometimes it's just other stuff. Come on over. It's patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. All right. You know where to follow us. Let's see. We want to see in the clubhouse as well. We have the conversations there 24/7, 365. It's no ads, no nonsense, just fun Disney talk with our listeners. It's our little cheers. It's our little corner pub. Come on over, beourguestpodcast.com/clubhouse. And of course, we'll have the shows Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and this replay hits on Thursday if you're tuned in live. All right, that's it. We're going to have some great shows this week, and hope you'll be with us. And if you don't mind, give us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts. We don't ask for that very often, but it really does help support the show. So if you have a few minutes this week, we'd appreciate that so very much. All right. For Scotty G up in East Lansing, Michigan, I'm Mike here in St. Charles, Missouri. Till we talk again, you guys stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. Good show tonight,
Boom,
Scotty.
that was fun.
That
I
was
love
fun.
it when we like talk about memories, like the scaring and
I
posting
know,
up. You
that
know,
was
like
perfect. That was so good.
I just love like our memory shows.
That's why I wanted you to tell that story, dude, because you told it so good. I was like, oh, when that came up, I was like, this is going to be a good story because
so good.
girl did it hit me.
And
I
then
was
it
like,
got people talking in the chat about it too. Like, yeah, it was good.
that was fun.
Dude,
All right. Well,
I could still. I got it. I have a photo. I'm gonna find it. I mean, I know you had the photo with the girls with the cast member.
I do. I got to find that and post
I don't
it.
know if I have the the cup, the poor cup just sitting there empty on the ground.
I got to
Oh
find
my
it. I'm going
God.
to post that picture on Instagram tonight if I can find it.
Yeah, that was. I'll find it. I can send it to you pretty quickly. Oh man, that was a fun day. But yeah, I love sharing those stories. And the chat was good. The calls were great. That was good stuff.
Everything was good tonight. It all worked for once.
Yeah.
Last week.
Microphones were good. The Skype calls were good.
Yeah. Woo woo.
No spammers in the chat.
I
It's
know.
all
Yes.
good.
It's a miracle when it works. Hey, Nicole.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know who's available tomorrow. I've heard the text. I have no clue. I haven't got through today.
I know. I never know where Pam and Ricky are these days. So
It would be nice if Pam let me follow her on
I know.
You can see me.
She can see me too. I know.
My dad's the same way. I'm like, I only know.
I only got my dad going. I just took his phone one day and I just set it up.
That's what I need to do to my dad. Well, I sent him the permission thing, so it says he can see me, but he hasn't like accepted or whatever, so I can see him. And the whole reason is I just want to see where he is for the football games. I want to see the stadiums. I just want to see like where he is in the football, in the stadiums.
Yep. Maybe he goes to secret places that you don't want to know.
I mean, he does. I mean, he gets to go cool places, but I mean, come on now. He's not going somewhere secret. He's at the Phoenix football stadium right now.
I know. Yeah, he's in Phoenix today.
Yeah. Anyway. All right.
Good show. I'm gonna have some chicken noodle soup.
That's it.
Homemade. Yeah, homemade chicken noodle soup, man, in this big pot. Like it's gonna be good.
You need more than that, man. I mean, you need like a grilled cheese with it or something.
Oh yeah, I mean we might have like a baguette or something to go with
Okay,
it. What I love about this though, it makes like a night because we cook a big pot of it, so it makes a nice lunch tomorrow too.
Oh yeah, dude, I do love some chicken.
So that's easy prep for tomorrow.
Good stuff though, yeah, especially homemade, man. Oh
yeah,
it's
so
really
good. Dude,
all right,
this chicken noodle soup, man, is like legit awesome.
You love that.
Hot for it today, but
I was gonna say, dude, if it's cold like that and chilly, dude, you're set. Oh my god, that's so good.
I know. That's a lot of Sunday meals is the soup and the chili because again, it's really good for like lunch, like on Monday and Tuesday at work. So
Midwestern crockpot stuff.
There it is.
Almost there. Almost there.
Oh
all
man.
Right. All
awesome.
right. I'll see you.
Have
brother.
A good night. I'll text you later.
Yep, absolutely. You take care, man. Good talking.
Tell the girls we say hello. And
then same. Tell your girls.
Homecoming week for us. Like, when's your homecoming?
2 weeks.
It's crazy. This is like the earliest it's ever been. Like, it's crazy that like homecoming is this week. So
it was super early for us last year, but it's 27th this year. 2 weeks.
Yeah. So busy week here. Last one. So yeah, another
Enjoy every minute.
Last. Yep.
Enjoy it. All right.
We'll see you. Have a good night. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.